Out of Order Gun Rights Podcast, episode 40.
Welcome to the Out of Order Podcast, your window into the firearms community, exploring those shaping the future of our rights and protecting our lifestyle, laws, legal cases, activism, and self-defense in a candid and honest podcast for our brothers and sisters in arms. Here's your host, James Keller.
Thanks for tuning in to the Out of Order Gun Rights Podcast, episode 40, sponsored today by NagYourRep.com. NagYourRep is a guide I put together to help you annoy an anti-gunner, embrace your inner gun nut, and do your part to keep America great by regularly, consistently, and automatically reminding your elected representatives to defend the Second Amendment, oppose gun control. Now, the guide is free. All the tools you need to use this are free, so head over to NagYourRep.com and sign up for the email, and I will send you that free guide. You can also help out the show by using our Amazon affiliate links. When you go over to outoforderjameskalita.com, click on an episode, you'll see links there to Amazon. Use that little search bar, and anything you purchase that day will help out the show at no additional cost to you. Of course, we're also have the links there for Liberty Classroom, where you can get the history and economics lessons they didn't teach you in high school, and of course to Liberty Maniacs, some really great t-shirts over there, so head over and check those guys out. Today's guest is Sandi Keller of Offhand Gear, and now here's Sandi.
Sandi Keller, welcome to the show.
Hello, James. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. So, Sandi, you own a company called Offhand Gear. Would you tell us a little about that?
Well, Offhand Gear is a brand of products for women in the shooting sports and industry, and I design the products myself, and we manufacture them and put them out to stores and on our website.
Okay, great. And so what inspired you to start the company?
Well, it's kind of a typical story of a lot of the women I've met in the industry. And Offhand Gear was started 6.5 years ago, and that's kind of the time when a lot of women started kind of flooding into the industry, in the sense that a lot of women decided, hey, we want to start seeing products for us instead of always having to adapt products for us. And so there's quite a few of us that kind of jumped into the industry in the last 10 years, and most of it's out of need. Almost every other entrepreneur or woman in the industry that I've met and worked with, very similar story. It's like I couldn't find what I needed and or what I wanted, and so jumped in and created it myself.
Okay, great. And so what kind of things I saw you guys make handguards, and I saw the range bags. What's different about them that makes them more suited for women?
Well, the range bag is actually the core of the brand, and that's really what started the brand. When it came to, I had a professional job and worked in an office building, and I would actually go to the shooting range during lunch. And it was a very gun-friendly office, but just kind of got the, typical kind of like razzing about, when I would bring my range bag, which looked like your typical tool bag, the guys would just kind of make fun of me going, oh, she's training today, better be on her best behavior. And I was always wanting just some kind of a range bag that did the job but didn't look like a range bag. I tried a few concealed carry purses, which broke, within weeks or very few months, because they couldn't handle all the weight of the ammo, the gear, and everything you take to the range. And then range bags, it's like if it said it was for women in the exhausting searches, it was the same bag as any other bag. They just had thrown some zebra print or pink camo at it and called it a women's bag.
Right.
So I actually have a background in design. And so, one day my husband, in my frustration, he's just like, why don't you just design your own stinking bag and find someone to sew it? And I was like, why don't I do that? So I basically took all the bags I had purchased and basically laid them all out, and I made lists of everything I hated about each one and everything I liked about each one. And it took me about 6 to 8 months to really come up with a design that I found really worked. And so that's where the Nord got started. And then, of course, I wanted to keep everything American made. So then we had the overcome the hill of finding American sewers to sew the design once I came up with it. But we did, and we finally came out with it, and hence the Nord. It's no ordinary range bag.
Wow. And what are some of the features, or is it similar features to a regular range bag, just in a...
No, ours actually looks like a messenger bag. And it even functions as a messenger bag. I mean, I have people that also use it. They don't just use it for the range. They use it for camera gear. I've had women who actually use it as a concealed carry diaper bag. It looks like a messenger bag, and it has 2 lined pockets in the back that are size-wise will each hold up to a full-size pistol. So you could even carry 2 1911s in it if you wanted to. Nice. And the main compartment has a box bottom, so your boxes of ammo slip in there real easy, and it's very deceiving. I mean, it looks like your typical, 14-inch, 16-inch range or messenger bag, but if you watch the video on the website, you'll see all the stuff I keep pulling out of it that I carry in mine, and people always joke about it looking like the little car with the clowns coming out of it because it's pulling so much stuff out of it. And then it has these pockets also in there that are designed to, like with us, the zippers. The zippers on some of the small pockets, they go 3/4 the way around instead of just halfway around. And the reason for that is when you put small items in there, like if you have your earrings on and you take your earrings off, or you have hair ties, you can actually get those back out of the pocket without dumping the bag and shaking it trying to get them out. But the core of it is the strap. The strap to it is actually a bungee that's inside. It's like a bungee strap. And the purpose of that is, again, having a professional job and wearing heels every day, when I would put a range bag on my shoulder, you have a ton of weight. I mean, you got 20 pounds of gear in your range bag, and as you walk, it can hurt your shoulder. So the bungee gives as you walk, and so basically you don't feel that weight. And it's also a thinner strap, so it sits in our shoulder like a bra strap instead of a wide strap that falls off your shoulder. Because if you watch a lot of women when they're carrying their gear, they've got this wide strap over their shoulder, and they're hanging on to it with their right hand. They've got it on their left arm. They're hanging on to it with their right hand, so if they ever needed their gun, their hand's holding the bag on them. They can't reach for their weapon. So ours is a smaller diameter, so it sits on our shoulder and stays there, so your hands are completely free.
Oh, I see. Excellent. And yeah, it sounds like that would take 6 to 8 months. That actually sounds fast based on all the things that you said you put in there. Wow.
Oh, and yeah.
So I imagine it must have been really difficult to find manufacturing, because, like you said, in the U.S., but then also finding gun-friendly people. What was that process like? Yeah.
Well, we found, in the industry, there are lots of bag manufacturers, and a lot of them will, basically do contract work for other companies. But many of them, they're like, yeah, we'll be happy to sell your stuff, but you got to order, 1,000 or 2,000 of them at a time. And it's like, whoa, I'm a little startup. I can't do that.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And a lot of the, smaller kind of out of their garage mom and pop folks didn't have the machinery because, again, ours is all, 500 Cordura. We've got a slip knot fabric in it. We have some very heavy duty material, so it also takes very specialized equipment in order to make it. So it took a lot of searching. We did settle with one company that we really liked and we had a lot of fun working with, and unfortunately they ran into some problems. They did a lot of military contract work, and they had ran into some problems and had to scale back and close down a lot of production. And we've literally had 3 or 4 different sewers over the course of time here, because unfortunately it's an industry that, as things moved to China, so many people went out of business and had to close down. And so we've had a struggle keeping it made in the USA. And that is one of the things that kind of excited me about Donald Trump and his, let's bring things back to America, is getting some of these products. I mean, there's a lot of us out there that want to make USA made products, but we need to get the people and the ability back here.
Yeah, it's a skill set all in itself, sewing and, as like you said. So, yeah. So how did you get into firearms? You mentioned the gun-friendly office. Did it start there, or
it actually started with my husband. It's not an uncommon story. Hubby was kind of into guns, and one day said, "Hey, let's go to the range." And I went along, and by the end of the hour, I was like, I'm buying a freaking pistol. This is too much fun. And so that's what I did. We started researching which kind of pistol I would like and different things, and bought my first pistol. And that's what basically started the brand. Is after I bought my first handgun, was starting to need practice and needing products and can't find them. So I literally I purchased my first handgun 6 months before I started this company.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing. Oh. What was your first one?
My actual very first handgun was a Sig Mosquito. I didn't have that very long, and I jumped up to a compact 1911. That I had problems really being able to conceal carry it well, because I like to carry on body. So I ended up then replacing that with my current everyday carry, which is a little Sig P238.
Okay, great. So how has it been being a woman in the firearms industry? It's usually seen as a male-dominated world, but how's it been for you?
Very much so. I started this company in April 2012, and that January of 2013 was my very first SHOT Show to attend. And it was very difficult, because 2013 SHOT Show was still very male-dominated, very kind of the good old boys and the gun bunnies, and it's been a thrill to watch so many women come into this industry, and every year to watch SHOT Show kind of make this evolution that the entire industry is making, but you can really see it there, and that is, that women are taken seriously now, not just as shooters on the range, but as entrepreneurs in the industry. And, it was very, very hard at first. But now and some of it is the network. I mean, we are a tight-knit network of women, because there was so few of us. We all just kind of bonded, and there's a lot of amazing women in the industry.
Yeah, I'm discovering as I go through and interview folks. There's definitely a lot of amazing women out there.
Yes.
So for women that may have never shot before or thinking about getting into this, any advice for them?
Oh, I would say probably my number one advice, if you're just getting into, I want to learn how to shoot a gun and I think I want to buy a gun, would be find a women-friendly range and store to start at. Get into some of the Facebook groups, connect with some of us women in the industry, and we'll share with you, great places to go throughout the United States. There's also some wonderful women's clubs that can help too. And, don't buy that pistol that guy on the other side of the counter says, "Oh, honey, you're a woman. This is what you need." Don't do it. Go to the range and try them all and find the one you love. They're like a good pair of shoes, Some women love their Louboutins because they fit them perfectly. Other women hate them because they don't fit. It's the same thing with a gun. try them on, make sure you get one that fits you.
That's an excellent analogy. All right. A new pair of shoes. All right. Oh. And so we talked about I forgot the name of it. Not your ordinary range bag. The Norm. Thank you.
Yep.
How about the handguards? Is there a story to those?
There is. Basically, as I have grown in basically the sport and the desire to learn more about different weapons and learning how different platforms, I find products that frustrate me, and I'm just like, I've reached the point now where it's like, okay, if I can't find a shooting mat, I'm going to go make one. So I've just kind of reached that point when there's a product that frustrates me. I go to the drawing board and I make a new one. So that's what happened with the handguards was, I was kind of like, I think I want to check out the AR platform. I think I want to build an AR. And so some friends of mine had started their company in a very similar time frame as I did, and they own a company called Unique ARs. And they were making these handguards, and they were doing some of them really cool with some flames and different things. And so, I kind of went to them, and I'm like, I want to build an AR, but all the handguards are either too big, or they cut you, or they're scratchy, and they're just not fun. Yours are cool, but they're still for guys. It's kind of like, I want to design some for women. And so, again, it took a few months for us to really nail down the first design, which was the fleur-de-lis design, and for them to be able to create that scrolly of a design and not have it distort. And once we nailed it, it opened up the door to, okay, throw it at us, we can do it now. And so all the handguards are manufactured by Unique ARs, but they are my designs. So I design them, and then they cut them and whatnot for me.
Oh, very cool. Well, Sandi, I've been asking all of my guests if there are any books that they recommend for gun owners, whether it be about liberty or guns or anything really.
Well, I will tell you, probably one of the most useful books I have ever purchased and owned is The Evolution of the Black Rifle by Jeff Zimba. He is an amazing man in the industry, and he had kind of recommended that book to me when I decided, hey, I think I want to build an AR. And it was very helpful to learn the evolution of the black rifle, and there's a lot of good tips in there, and I got a lot of good information, and I have to say that it's probably been one of my most used books.
Oh, okay. Great. Well, Sandi, I thank you so much for coming on the show. Any parting words for our listeners?
I just stay safe out there, and especially to the women, connect and join our groups, because the women in this industry, like I said, they are some of the most amazing women I have ever met in any industry I've ever been in. So don't be afraid. Connect with all of us, and we'll help you in your journey.
Well, Sandi, I thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again for tuning in to episode 40 of the Out of Order Gun Rights podcast. Today's show notes page, Out of Order James Kalita /Sandi. And please remember to check out our sponsors, nagyourrep.com, the Amazon affiliate links on the Out of Order show notes page. And of course, please remember to head over to Offhand Gear and check out Sandi's merchandise. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.